Hey Daily Dosers, Austin here. I'm one of the pastors over at the San Marcos Escondido campus. One of the last times I did a daily dose, I talked about how Jesus would come into a situation and just kind of put this small little piece of wisdom, this insight that would change the way that you looked at a situation, maybe in a way that you responded to a certain situation. The example I used was Peter saying, hey, how many times should I forgive somebody? And Jesus actually says, oh, no, you're looking at that completely wrong. It's more of a heart issue than actually doing the thing. And so today I want to highlight the fact that so often when we move towards obedience, trusting God enough to do what he says, when we do those things that Jesus would tell us to do in the New Testament when he's teaching the disciples, when we do that kind of stuff, the truth is we're going to be pushed or pulled out of our comfort zone. A lot of the times when we do the things that the Bible tells us to do, in a way is counterculture to what seems normal to us. And I want to highlight the fact that I think Jesus wanted to pull us out of our comfort zone. Truth be told, when we're comfortable, I think that might cause us to sometimes be lazy, maybe avoid a tough conversation that we need to have, maybe avoid conflict, and instead of being a peacemaker, we're actually causing a divide. If we're angry with somebody, instead of just having a real human conversation with them, you just pull up your cell phone and you text them, put them on blast. And I just know that that's not what Jesus wants us to do. In a way, he's always trying to encourage us to look at things a little differently, to pull us out of that comfort zone. And one of the best ways that I can see that in his preaching is when he's on the Sermon on the Mount and he's talking about the Beatitudes. So let's dive into Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. And I want to highlight some of these ways where Jesus says, hey, I kind of don't want you to be comfortable. And how for us as Christians to embrace that. So let's dive in. It says in verse 3, it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." In verse 11, it says this, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." And I love, if you keep reading, that he highlights in the next chapter, in the next verse, he talks about being the salt of the earth and a light on the hill. And I think he's saying, hey, if you do these things, if you are pulled out of your comfort zone and you shift, hey, you become a peacemaker, you become meek, you become persecuted because of you hold on to your righteousness so much that because of that you will earn influence in your family, at school, at work, because you are committed to being pulled out of your comfort zone, to stepping over to the line when Jesus is saying, hey, you could choose to do this or you could choose to do this. What does that look like for you today? I don't know what that looks like in your life, but I know the second that you pray to God, hey, use me, pull me out of my comfort zone and just use me in incredible ways today, I think that you're going to see some situations pop up. And maybe today it looks like, hey, just embracing those, obeying God to do it, do what he says, to just love people, to pursue peace and unity. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in your stomach when you see those situations. Run towards those, embrace that. And I think that we can have an impact in our community that is far greater than we could ever see on a day-to-day basis. By showing people the love that God has given you, that Jesus has given you in your everyday life, I think by pouring that love out to other people, you can just do some amazing things. So today, as you go out, embrace that uncomfortable feeling that you feel in your gut when somebody asks you a question or you're challenged by something. Pursue peace, pursue love, and just embrace the teaching that Jesus said here in Matthew 5.